Hi, nice to see you again. I am in traffic right now, driving on the way back from school. Took an exam today. It was pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've always been like B-ish, B minus-ish, C plus-ish student, you know? I mean, I failed a couple of exam or quizzes and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the best student, but the exam was pretty easy today. I think I got like an hour and a half commute. I commute like an hour and a half to school because I wasn't able to get into um, programs where I'm from. And I'm 26. I just turned 26 last month. My birthday's in June. And as I get older, I'm looking at like the path that I'm on and the path that I see my friends, my family, the path that they've been on with their career and how life is living in America, in California specifically. And I feel like everyone is struggling in some type of way. Well, they really shouldn't be. And that's very strange. And um, it feels like, honestly, like the American dream is just dead. You know, my parents, they're from Southeast Asia, and they came over here when they were super young, immigrants story and all that, and they were able to work up their way and be successful um, to a level. I mean, of course, like we're not millionaires or anything, but to come from a village in Southeast Asia, live in America, in California, and you got a house, you got some kids, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. And don't get me wrong, my life is great. My life is good. I'm very fortunate to be where I am right now. I'm fortunate to be born in America. I could be born in China. China. I could be born in China, and my life could be not that great. I mean, I don't know what life is like in China, but you get what I mean. To be born in America, that's top 1% in the human race. You know, and I don't have to go through what my parents went through because they struggled. They did their stuff for themselves and to raise a family, to raise me, and my brother. And they went through that. They did that. You did that. I don't know. That's what the kids say, right? Um, but my generation, for some reason, you would think that every generation it should get better, right? That's the goal. That's the hope. Is that each generation coming after you has a better opportunity, has a better life than the one before it. And why is it that me and my brother, growing up in America, oh yeah, we had it made. I mean, good childhood, lived with our family, had a roof over our head, food provided, everything, toys, whatnot. Um, but I'm seeing people in my life who are around my age, who are maybe even like in their 30s, mid 30s, and they can't even afford a house by themselves, or they still live with their parents. And that's not a bad thing per se, but that just goes to show you like how expensive everything is becoming. Why is it that 20 an hour is barely anything? And I made a video, my most recent video. I don't work, by the way. I don't know where like some of you got that information from, where you think I work or something. I do not work. I go to school full time. I went to the military. I was in the military for 4 years. I served in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then I got out and I'm going to school full time using the GI Bill. I got into this program. I don't work, and occasionally the GI Bill pays for my school. Thank God. That's why I did it in the first place, because I didn't want to be in debt. And the GI Bill also gives me a monthly like housing allowance, or just like a monthly allowance, but it always fluctuates. It's never the same. Okay, And so I'm pretty decently surviving right now with my current situation, but it's not always going to be like this. This program's going to end. My GI Bill runs out. Hopefully when I finish this program, I'll be able to swim to keep myself afloat for a bit. I'm in a relationship. I've got a great girlfriend. I'm living with my parents right now, just because that's the most financially responsible thing to do. And I'm just saving up. I'm going to school full time, doing my thing. But it seems like everybody's struggling nowadays. I know a lot of people who work two jobs just to get by, or who, like I said before, live with their parents. And I'm like, what is going on nowadays? I'm not here to complain. I guess I am complaining. But I think in my last video, some people mistakenly thought that I was like an incel or something, and that my whole mindset is just negativity, negativity. I'm a very positive person. Let's get that straight. um, or at least I try to be. And honestly, I'm not perfect. I have bad days, and I've definitely been more stressed and more negative lately. But overall, I'm definitely a more positive person than I am negative. Um, my life is good. My life is great. I'm in this car right now that the military paid for, or I saved up with my military paychecks at least. And I'm able to do this. I'm able to struggle, right? Adversity, having something to struggle for, having the privilege to choose something that you struggle for is a privilege. I think I might have said this already, but someone in Africa starving, or in the Middle East starving, being in a very dangerous country, they didn't choose that. And here I am. I get to choose what I want to struggle about, at least to some degree, at least more than they do. So that is a privilege in itself. And it some people like to say, just work harder. You work harder. You think you take everything for granted. You and your generation, you Gen Zers, you don't know anything about hard work. My man, I joined the military when I was 18 years old. I wake up at 5 a.m. to go work out, go to the gym before school even starts. I commute 3 hours every single day, Monday through Thursday. I've been doing that for the past year. And of course, there's still people that work harder than me. And I understand that. But it's not about working hard. Okay? I know people who work their ass off, and they're still, I don't want to say poor, because that just seems like a disrespectful thing to say, but they're still not in the most ideal situation, and they work very hard. They're tired. It's not about how hard you work, it's about what that work accomplishes, the quality of that work, and what that work does, right? A chef is working his ass off in the kitchen, cooking over 200-300 meals every single day, but the CEO or the owner of the business is always going to get paid more. And honestly, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of ranting today because I felt like I needed to get another video out of my chest or something. My life is good. My life is good, but that doesn't mean that I'm not struggling, or that other people my age aren't struggling. I feel like no one just wants to express when they're going through hard times nowadays, and they feel like, I don't know, they should just suck it up and do whatever. That's the problem. Okay, you got to be comfortable, like, knowing when you're going through a rough time and just expressing that to the people around you. Oh, and okay, one thing I really wanted to talk about today is, like, education, and potentially the healthcare system, or the healthcare in education, because I'm obviously hoping to become a physical therapist assistant very soon. And I feel like our education system, especially in America, is garbo, completely useless, especially general education courses. It's like a lot of these kids nowadays, they're 18 to 20, whatever. They're dropping, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, just to try to hopefully get this piece of paper that tells them that they can follow directions and get a job. And then some people can't even. Ugh, hold on, guys. I'm trying to figure out where I need to go real quick. And I'm getting tailgated, so 1 second. So, like I was saying, it feels like getting a degree is really useless nowadays, especially a bachelor's. A bachelor's feels like the bare minimum. If you can work out 225 used to be a great accomplishment. Now it's like that's the bare minimum. You got to bench 225. That's what a bachelor's degree feels like. It's become inflated a bit, and it feels pointless. Everyone has all these people with bachelors. Sorry, I can't speak right now. Degrees are being they can't even get jobs. People with master's degrees can't even get jobs. I used to work at Amazon Fresh, and I was working with a guy with a master's in computer science. And I was like, dude, you have a master's in computer science. Shouldn't you be working in in computer science? And he was like, yeah, I just can't get a job right now. And I was like, Jesus Christ. If you can't get a job, I'm cooked. People are going back to school. So many people are going back to school to try to earn even more money because they need more money to survive. And it's just getting more and more expensive and all these things. In my program, there's not one person who's 18 or 19 years old. Everyone's older. Everyone's like 22 and up, 26. We even got a mother of like two. She's like 50 or 60 years old, and she's switching her career field to try to earn more money. And man, if that doesn't show you that something is fundamentally wrong with like the economy or with something in America, like it's not working. Something is I feel like there's a shift coming, and I don't know when, but something is not working, and it's going to explode, or something's going to change. Something has to change because it's like this is not sustainable in the long run. And honestly, I don't know where to go. I'm glad I don't have to solve those problems. But what I can do is try to make the best out of my situation and earn the most that I can while living here in California. I don't know. Should I move? Maybe. And I think that's all I got to say today. So I appreciate you for watching. Hopefully, you know, let me know your situation. Let me know what you think about our education system, and maybe even our healthcare system. That's another problem in itself. There's a lot of money roped into that. So, but regardless, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me yap for an extended amount of time. I really appreciate it. And leave a comment. That's about it. Thanks.